Hey guys, welcome back to the channel again, and this is your coach once again to help you out, guys. And we will continue with the tutorial for Java. Okay, so today we will learn about Java arrays, how you can initialize your array in Java, and how actually array works, and is it useful or not in Java. Okay, to work with arrays. Okay, so first of all, what is an array? So array is basically we can call it as a block wherein you can put your elements. Okay, so let's say this is a block. Okay, I have some dedicated spaces in it. Fine. So inside these, suppose I have some elements. Okay, let's say these are a bookshelf. Okay, and then inside it I have some books, okay, which are numbered from 1 to 6, okay. So this bookshelf is my array, and the number of books which are there inside it, that are my elements, or I can call it as an array elements, okay. So in array, what happens? The index number starts from 0, okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that means the length of the array will be one less. That means it starts from 0 and end till 5. So that is one less from 6 in our condition, the example which I have taken. So the advantage of using an array is, like, you can access an element any point of time. Okay, if you're using an array, at that point of time you can access any element at any point of time just with the help of the index number. Suppose this array name is book. Okay, so I can write book. Okay, and I want to access the array element or the book number 4, this one, then I can directly write the index number, that is 4, like this, and you will be able to access that particular book. Okay, that's the advantage of it. The disadvantage of using an array is it has a size limit. Okay, that's the main advantage of array. So size needs to be limited over there. Okay, so that was about how an array looks like, how you can actually work with an array, like with the help of the index number. Okay, and how you can extract the array elements with the help of a, like, the index number, okay, which starts usually from 0. Okay, so it's one less. Fine. So now next, let's see example how it works. So basically arrays are of two types, like single dimensional and multi-dimensional. So single dimension array, you can denote it with the help of a square brackets. Okay, multi-dimensional, you have to put it two square brackets in place of that. Okay, so this is how an array is defined. Okay, so basically we'll start off with array, defining initialization and how to put or how to get the output of the elements which are there inside your array. Okay, so this is a class which I have created, that is, the name is A. Okay, I'll just open this off. So this is my compiler. Now I'll start with public class A. Inside this, I'll write static void main string. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to define my array. Okay, so array can be defined in multiple ways. One way of defining an array is, I'll write first of all the data type. So data type of my array is int, that is integer. Okay, I'll take the name as, let's say, B. Okay, and this is how you define an array with the help of a square bracket. So B is the name of your array, and then if you are putting a square bracket, that means you're telling Java that I want to work with an array. Okay, and how you define it, the size of the array. So new, that is the keyword, and then inside that, suppose my size of the array is 5. Okay, that's how I define the array. Now what I want to do here is, so do something. Now what I want to do here is I want to define my elements, the array elements. So for that, what I can do, so b and then the index number, that is 0. Let's say the index number element is 10. Similarly, I go for b index number 1 and let's say the element is 67. b2, let's say it's 45. b of 3, so these are the index number in which the elements are there. Let's say it's 23. And b of 4, let's say it's 20. Okay, so since I know my size is up to 5, that means my array element will run from 0 to 4. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to print this value of the array elements. That means 10, 67, 45, 23, 20 should be my output. Okay, so how to print that? So for that we can use a for loop. Okay, so I can write int I, a variable for running the for loop I have taken, and then I is equal to 0. So till when the for loop should run? So the for loop should run till the length of this particular array, that is b, right? So we can write over here b dot length. Okay, and then I plus plus, fine. And then inside this I can write system dot out dot println b of I. That means I want to print the array elements. So this is how you can write the whole code. Fine. Okay, so now let's check out what exactly the first error is coming up before we compile, and then we'll check out with the dry run of this code before seeing the actual output. Okay, so let's compile. So if you see, there is one error which says identifier expected. That means over here after the new, you have to tell that it is an integer type. Okay, so this we missed out, this we have to enter over here. Okay, and then we'll try to compile it off. Now if you see, class compiled, no syntax error. Okay, this is what we got. So class is compiled, no syntax error. Now let's try a dry run. Okay, dry run as in real time how this particular program is actually working. So here we are working with arrays and the name of the array is b. Okay, so let's say I have a block over here. Fine, I have the name of the block is 5 and I have the size up to 0. Okay, this is 1, this is 2, 3 and then 4. Okay, because I have taken the size of the array as 5, so this basically represents the size. Okay, so when you define an array, you have to mention the size over here. This is one way of declaring an array. Okay, so what happens here, you are declaring it and here you are initializing it. Okay, the size of the array. Fine, so my array elements are 10. So because these are the index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10, on 1 we have 67, then 45, then 23 and the last one is 20. Okay, now I want to print out the array elements, that is 10, 67, 45, 23, 20 should be my output. So for that I am running a for loop which runs from I is equal to 0. So let's say we have a variable I which is 0. It runs till b dot length. That means we have, let's say, another one, b dot length, and the value of this is 5 because we have the size is 5. Fine. Now it says I is equal to 0, condition is satisfying, and then it goes to system.out.println print b of I. That means now b of I, that means b of 0. So first value will be printed as 10. Okay. Now next I plus plus is done. I value becomes 1. Now again the condition is satisfying because the length is less than 5. So b of 1. Okay. So now b of 1 means 67 will get printed. So just underneath this 67 will get printed. Again now I value becomes 2. So again the condition is satisfying. It is less than 5. So now index number 2 is 45. So 45 will get printed and so on. So once this for loop gets terminated, it will print the whole array elements and come out of the loop. Okay, so that's how this whole code is working. Okay, so let's see the output. I'll compile it again. Okay, let me minimize this. This is our class. So let's run this off. Okay, now you see this is what we got the output, that is 10, 67, 45, 23 and 20, which is our output of the array element. So this is how you can also try it in your code as a basic, as a beginner, okay, and check how an array elements work. Now another way of declaring an array would be, so like first of all let me show you how you can change the for loop. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, so here you have written the whole for loop. Instead of this you can also write like this, like int I and then the name of the array. I is to b, and then inside this you can print just the value of I. That's it. So this is also another way of representing a for loop when you are trying to run the array elements, or you're trying to print the array elements. So integer data type, I'm telling I colon b and then system.out.println I. So if I just try to run this code again, okay, so if I run this, so see the output would be the same, 10, 67, 45, 23, 20. Okay, fine. So that was the another way of representing the for loop when you're working with an array. Okay, now what would be the another way when you are actually declaring an array? So in that case what you can do, so you can write like this. So suppose I write okay, and change the for loop as well. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than b dot, and then I plus plus. Okay, and over here I'll write b of I. Fine, and here I'll also define I. Okay, so main thing which we have to change it over here, which is showing as an error. So we can write this as b, and then we can use the bracket. Suppose the array elements are 12, 16, 78. Okay, this is the one way of declaring. So instead of putting inside, so we can put it like this is the array which is named as b, and then inside this you are using a curly brackets to put your elements, that is 12, 16 and 78. Fine. Now let's check for our errors. Okay, so there are two fors. Okay, now again there are two errors. Okay, so just check for errors over here. Let's try to check for the errors whatever you're getting. So let's remove. Yeah, so now we go ahead and compile this off. So basically in this particular code we'll get the output as 33, 3, 4 and 5, or whatever elements you put it over there. Okay, now here this particular array b, so this is another way of how you can declare a array inside your code. Okay, so that's how you declare it. So it's a declaration wherein you are also initializing it. Okay, now if we go ahead and just run this off, so here this is the class, so click on void, and then so this is our output 33, 3. So if you see the output is 33, 3, 4 and 5. That's the output which we got. So I showed you two ways like how to actually define an array inside a class. Okay, how array is useful. Okay, so if you just want to print one element from this, so I can write b of 1. That's it. Okay, and if I'll compile this off, so I have written b of 1. That means, so here if I write 1b1, okay, so like the array name, and then inside this I write the index number as 1. So 3 should be the output. Okay, now if you see, we have a for loop over here as well. So our output will be like less than 0, 1, 2, 3. That means the length of the array is 3. That means 3 times 3 will be printed in this particular, if we run this code, 3 times 3 will be printed, because we have a for loop as well in this. Okay, so what if I just remove the for loop? Okay, I just remove the for loop. We'll compile this off again, no syntax error. Now if you see, I just declare an array, okay, and I have initialized some elements inside it. Okay, so we can write this as initializing and declaring array elements. Okay, so with the help of these two slash, you can put a comment in your code as well. Okay, so now if I run this code, I'll get only one output, that is 3. That is index of this particular array. So 0 and 1, that is 3 should be my output. So let's run this code. So just compile this, okay, and run this one. So now if you see, the output is only 3. So that's how the array works. Okay, and so you can also like check off how to declare and initialize the array elements.